Welcome to Pat and Go. This is week 3.
I can't believe we made it.
We made it already. It's already week 3, which is just yesterday. We were
so
we were
much
week
excitement.
100%.
Yeah.
So I'm your host, Paul Browning. I'm in the studio today with DJ. Mike Lewis is not here. He has some business that he had to take care of. But
He's here in spirit.
He's here in spirit, and he's wishing all of his well wishes to all the viewers. For those who are viewing on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe to KPPF 1040 AM and also Pat and Go with Paul Browning. Make sure you're sharing our videos and just showing us all the love that you can. And then it's just a treat for everybody who's on YouTube. You guys are going to continue to see this visual treat.
And support all of our sponsors as well.
Yes, 100% support for our sponsors as well. But other than that, I think it's time that we should jump right into
High point.
week 3. Yes, sir. We're moving into the high point.
That was a heck of a game last night, man.
So this past week, we've had to go with. Let's run it back.
Okay.
Jumping into the high point.
Yeah.
Let's go into just a quick summary of Thursday night. We had Carolina.
Yes.
We had Houston. I guess my big takeaway there, I think Carolina is still a very good football team. I'm not completely sold. I think they're beating teams that they should beat. But I'm not completely sold on how good they are as a team. The defense and the pass rush is amazing.
Correct. But as soon as they lost Christian McCaffrey, that's 90% of their offense right there.
Right. So, and then Sam Darnold, he played a pretty good game, but there was also the two fumbles that he had.
Well, and the tight end running one in.
That
was fun.
So I think Carolina is definitely a pretty good team. However, I just time will tell.
They're finding ways to get things done, though.
And you're winning the games they need to win. You win the games you're supposed to win. That could put you in a playoff. So that's one thing that I see with Carolina. But let's kind of move back a little bit. Week 2, we've got some game balls to give out.
Yeah, we do.
Did you have somebody in mind?
I have a couple. I have Derrick Henry. I believe that he deserves a game ball. And that's 35 rushes, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns, a few, catching ones.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So and then for them to go to Seattle and get the win. I thought that was huge as well. He was
2 road games so far this year.
Yeah, and Derrick Henry was a huge. He was a workhorse. I've got a couple of game balls I want to give out as well.
I got a couple more.
You got a couple more? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
I got to give one to my boy Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
He's got rid of all those stigmas. He's leading the league in passing yards. And he got all kinds of touchdowns and finally finding a way to get things in the end zone, which it has been his biggest bugaboo since he came in the league.
Yeah. It's only week 2, though, so we got to continue to see him do it.
Right.
But I like what I'm seeing through week 2.
Progress.
Yeah. Who else you got?
I got one more, and it's for the Carolina Panthers defense, not just Thursday, but going in hard against the division rivals.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, honestly, being able to beat the Saints, who were riding a really high wave, surprised all of us. We all were wrong on the pick there. I've got a couple as well. Big shout out to Cooper Kupp, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. He went 9 catches, I believe 163, 2 touchdowns. Just absolutely a monster.
Can any corner cover him?
100%. So in that win against the Colts, he was a madman. And then another guy I like, Tyler Lockett. They lost. But Tyler Lockett, these past 2 weeks, he went 400, 4 receptions, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Then he did 8 receptions, 178.
That's a
4
mere
touchdowns.
300 yards, and that's after 2 games.
After 2 games. So, and he's been an absolute baller. But then big, huge shout-out and game balls going to Zach Moss and Aaron Jones. Just whenever players have to deal with losing a family member or playing and you're mourning somebody, and just come out and still have a good game.
I think the biggest one that hurts me,
Yeah.
as far as that goes,
Brett Favre?
is Brett Favre
Being
against
able to-
the Raiders, just lighting things up. And what can you do? What can you say? You have to applaud the guy.
So that's just where I'm at when it comes to giving those game balls out. I definitely wanted to show love to Zach Moss, running back Buffalo Bills, and Aaron Jones, running back for Green Bay Packers. He really steamrolled Detroit.
Almost lost his necklace, though. He had to have the grounds crew go find it, but glad he was able to dig that up.
So with that being said, what is a lesson that you've learned through week 2? What do you got?
Well, I have 3 lessons that I came up with. Teddy Two Gloves is just putting it up there. I'm talking about Teddy Bridgewater there for the Broncos because he wears 2 gloves. He's just shown that he's just a humble guy, and he took it all on himself, missing that catch. I can't remember who he was throwing to. He said, yes, I should have gotten it to him just a little bit faster. And
the Cortland, was it Cortland Sutton?
Yeah, it was. That's what it was. And he said 2 plays before that, if he had gotten it to Font a little bit quicker, then that wouldn't have even been an issue. Yeah. So him dropping the ball is all on him.
Yeah, and it's that leadership that I think is something that's huge. What else you got?
My other lesson is QBs. It seems like they're more prone to injury this year. Are they missing that 4th preseason game?
Is that now playing a part? And I think that has a lot to do, I think, with some of the errors that we're seeing as well.
And it takes longer for an offensive line to
gel. Yes,
so
100%. So I guess one of the takeaways for me is the Raiders. They look pretty for real. Like I said, we're only week 2.
I did have one more lesson.
Go ahead. Yeah,
you're
definitely.
Cutting me off,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Getting ahead of yourself. Yeah. Well, it kind of goes back to that whole preseason thing that I think the Buffalo Bills and the Green Bay Packers needed an extra preseason game.
And it's just, when you have a lot of your starters not playing, that's just kind of what ends up happening, right? So I totally agree with that.
Okay, now jump in.
Yes.
Now talk about my Raiders.
So for me, I believe the Raiders have definitely been a team that has been able to come out the gate pretty hot, and being able to get the W against Baltimore week 1, coming back, playing really well against Pittsburgh, who was riding a pretty high wave. They look for real. I think another takeaway for me is we got to watch out for Philly. I know they lost against the Niners, but they played a really good game against the 49ers, and they were a couple plays away from actually doing something and winning and really making some plays in that game. And the NFC East is wide open, so that may be something that where Philly comes back around. We may hear back from them. Also, Arizona has so many weapons on the outside. Kyler Murray throwing that ball.
Both sides of the ball, really.
Yeah, well, the thing is just, my thing is just as a receiver, seeing what they're doing with Hopkins, Christian Kirk. They got that new rookie.
That 3rd rounder.
What's his name?
Out of Purdue. What's his name?
Rondell Moore.
That's it.
And then Max Williams at tight end. So they've got a lot of guys making plays. But that's who we want to give those game balls out to. That's our takeaway from week 2. Let's get ready to get into flag on a play.
Yeah.
But no, I just want to make sure that once again that's the end of our segment, and I would love for you guys to stick around just right after this short break. This is Pat and Go with Paul Browning.
Don't forget to sign up on our YouTube channels, KPPF Radio, 1040 AM. Pat and Go with Paul Browning also has a channel. Got to get subscribed 100%. So we can go live.
Come on, we know that. Welcome back to Pat and Go with Paul Browning. I'm your host, Paul Browning. We're here with DJ on the 1s and 2s. We're missing Mike Lewis, but we want to show Mike some love. Make sure that we are liking and subscribing on the YouTube channel, KPPF 1040 AM Radio, and also Pat and Go with Paul Browning. Make sure we're liking and subscribing there. Comment, share it. We got good content for you guys. Now it's time for us to get a flag. We're going to throw some flags. This is flag on the play. So first thing I want to do is I want to throw a flag on the Texans head coach, David Culley. For those who weren't watching the game, the Texans played the Browns. Very early on in the game, the Texans, I believe, had a real shot of actually beating Cleveland. And there became a really controversial call. It's 3rd and 15.
Right.
There's an offsides that's called on the Texans, but it's a free play. So, or on the Browns, so it's a free play for the Texans. They get about 13 yards on a play. So now they're left with these options, okay? You either accept the penalty, and it is now 3rd and 10, or you decline the penalty, and it's 4th and 2, all right? They decided to decline the penalty, get it at 4th and 2.
Take another shot.
And you're thinking, okay, yeah, it's 4th and 2. All right, I'm going to make sure that let's go for it now since it's 4th and 2. They decline the penalty, so it's 4th and 2, and then they punt the ball away. I don't know what he was thinking, and they ended up.
Well, that's first-time head coach stuff.
Yeah, well, he said he wanted to. He wanted the better field position. I'm going, dude. It's 8 yards. It's 8 yards. One, give your team another opportunity at 3rd and 10 to try to get your first down,
And then go on 4-2.
or if you go 4th and 2, if you decline the penalty, at least go for it. But I was just thinking from where I was at, if I'm calling the plays, it's 3rd and I'm going to accept the penalties. 3rd
Maybe
and
that's
10,
why we're on
and
this
we're
side.
going for it. Maybe exactly why we're critiquing, right? But I would love to throw a flag on that, and I think that kind of ties into kind of what we were speaking on in 50-50. Some of the errors that we're seeing early on in the season, whether it's from the coaches, whether it's from late game interceptions, late game fumbles. There's too much of that is going on. I'm throwing a flag on everybody who's upsetting me.
Well, see, I'm throwing the flag on the Texans as well, but it's for a different reason. It's because they have not called Cam Newton and said, "What are you doing?"
Cam Newton is he is at home. Cam, all love to you, brother. He's at home waiting. And the Texans are without Tyrod Taylor now.
We should call him and see what he's doing on Zoom.
See what he's doing. We'll see if he's going to hop on. I would love to have Cam on. So yeah, that's your flag.
That's one of my flags, and the other flag's on us.
Yes.
For not having a fantasy mastermind on the show in order to
help
make things happen.
Wow.
Because our viewers, our listeners,
yes.
They're
hungry for it. Yeah.
They're like, who do I start this week?
Well, here's the thing. I got a treat. I got a treat for us. So I've got a couple fantasy gurus that we decided to bring in, and this is our guest for the week. We've got Will Hazelwood.
Oh, so they're
guest for the
taking
week.
us under the hood. That's what you're telling me.
Well, hold on. We've got a couple
Surprise
guests coming
guest?
in. We've got a couple guests coming in. We've got Will Hazelwood. We're going to go here. Will Hazelwood, GameOver owner. You've got 4 locations here in Colorado Springs. You love sports. This is the #1 sporting apparel store in Southern Colorado.
Huge Niners fan.
Huge Niner fan. You're from Colorado Springs. You got a couple fantasy leagues. You're going to have some takes for us. Oh yeah. Definitely. And then our patent go fantasy insider, we've got Brandon Gray, Mr. Gray. How you doing? What's up, Mr. Gray? He is a former college linebacker at Manchester University in Indiana. All conference, academic All-American. So he's got the brains. But on top of that, like I said, he's our fantasy guru. You've got 13-plus fantasy leagues that you're currently in, getting it all going. We are looking for some real takes. We are so glad to have you guys on the show.
Don't be afraid of the microphone, guys.
Yeah,
I need to hear you.
Definitely. So real quick, Will, I wanted to touch on this. How are things going GameOver? Just wanted to see, tap into that for our audience to know what's going on with GameOver.
Yes, sir. Things are going great. Like you said, we have 4 locations here now. We're actually opening another one this Saturday. Those of you who are familiar with us, we're just moving locations right next door. So come check us out. We're getting a bigger location, bringing you more selection, more than you already had. As you know, we are the best sports store here in town.
Yeah.
just trying to make it better.
Look, I'm a routine customer. I love GameOver, so that's real. And then
I love how he keeps me stocked with Raider stuff. So
100%, yeah, you know. And then Brandon, well, you're a 49ers fan, Will. Brandon, you're a Packers fan.
Yes.
So I mean, you've had a pretty good past week, right?
Oh yeah. I feel good about it.
Definitely.
But those 49ers, the problem with week 1 was the pass rush.
Yeah.
49ers, that's what they bring. So,
Yeah.
again, with that young line with the Packers, I'm a little iffy, but, I'm still going to go with my boys.
Yeah.
So.
So I like how this has ended up working out because
Oh, yeah.
what is this? This is a Sunday night game.
Yeah.
That's where we're going. So, but beyond that, one of the things, the 49ers are still undefeated, all right? There's not that many teams in the NFL that are undefeated. One of those teams is the Denver Broncos, all right? How far can Denver take that? And I know I was able to have a conversation with a couple people outside of the studio, pre-production in the past episodes where I'm going, hey, Denver, I got them winning the division. The Chiefs just lost to the Ravens, and they've got a really tough schedule. So when we take a look at the Broncos' upcoming schedule, they've got the Jets, they've got the Ravens, they've got the Steelers, they've got the Raiders, they've got the Browns, Washington football team, Dallas, and Philly. So it's not the hardest schedule, but they've got some teams that can definitely impact if we can continue to see them go undefeated. Do you guys have any takes when it comes to how Denver can do in these next few games? How do they end up by the bye week? We see a couple losses in there. Like I said, they've got the Ravens, they've got the Steelers, they've got the Raiders who are red hot right now. They got the Browns, but I know the Browns and the Steelers those are games at home.
personally, I got them losing 4.
You got them losing
4 of those next 8.
4 of the next 8. So I mean, that would be still 6 and 4.
Yep.
All right, definitely.
Yep, I got them having a rocky road starting October 3rd.
Okay.
They got the Ravens here in town.
Yeah.
I think that's when things are going to start getting tough. They got the Steelers after that.
Yeah.
Some really good games coming up for them. So I don't disagree at all by the 6 and 4.
The 6 and 4. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go a little bit different. I was gonna say that they were gonna kind of fall off after the Ravens, but you talked about it last week with that secondary,
Yeah.
and then that D line as well.
Yeah.
They can match up with anybody. It's really the consistency with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
And I like him. I liked him in Minnesota. I liked him when he came in for Drew Brees when he went out.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think he's a baller. I think he's gonna come out and continue to do well. And I say they only lose 2 of those games.
2 of those
2 of
games.
those games.
I can see that. What I see Dallas being a rough one. That may be difficult. Usually they play pretty well in Pittsburgh, but for them to have the Ravens coming to town, they've got the Jets coming to town this today at 11. We got the Jets coming to town. They've got to go to the Browns. I think really they may only lose 3 of those games. In my mind, I see them only losing 3 of those games. Okay. I can see 7-3 Denver. Kansas City's going to have a more rough time, and they've got the Bills coming up soon. They also are going to have I know they've got the Steelers coming up. There's going to be some tough games for Kansas City. So I can still see Denver holding on to that lead. But yeah, I want to get into some fantasy takes, but we're not going to do it just yet. Well, first, we're going to finish. We're wrapping up this segment here.
Okay.
Okay. No more flags. No more flags on the play. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back to Go Under the Hood. This is Pat and Go with Paul Browning. Welcome back to Pat and Go with Paul Browning. I'm your host, Paul Browning. We've got DJ on the 1s and 2s. We've got our guest, Will Hazelwood, owner of GameOver. We've got our fantasy insider, Brandon Gray. We're going to go under the hood. So,
He's in
obviously,
15 leagues.
with 15
we
leagues.
just kind of brushed over that.
He's our fantasy insider. He's got to be in all these
I
different
can't
leagues.
do more than 2.
We need that. We need that. So obviously when it comes
That's
to
a full-time job.
right, 100%. So when it comes to running a couple different fantasy football teams, I mean, you guys have a couple different leagues that you're in. What does that take for you guys? How you make that work?
For me, so I'm only in 4 leagues.
Yeah.
A little different.
Still a lot.
That is still a lot. I spend a lot of time behind my phone researching.
Who's on the waiver wire?
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time there.
Yeah.
I'm constantly on the waiver wire. I'm talking 4 times a week.
Yeah.
I'm at it.
Yeah.
It opens up on Wednesday.
Yes,
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yes. But just to manage 14, I want to know how.
Yeah.
I mean, so Mike's a little bit. You talk about being on your phone a lot. I'm constantly researching things. You said 4 times a week. I'm on that thing like 30 times a week. Like
He's you got to go two, 3 times a day.
Like
That's
I'm at work
crazy.
Checking fantasy.
Yeah.
Any news that's popping up, like
Yeah.
I got notifications on my phone. It's not too bad, really. I mean, you kind of get in a rhythm after so many leagues. It's like you know who you got in which leagues. You're just making sure your lineup's straight at the beginning of the week. It's really about the ones that I have trouble with is the IDP leagues. Like I'm in 4 of those. And
Explain what that is.
so the
just in
IDP
case.
is the individual defensive positions.
Yeah.
So, you have a full defense as well, but you have individual defensive
Now I got to
positions
pick a
like DNs,
linebacker
D-tackles.
and
And that's the trickiest because I've been having to research like what their matchups with the linemen. Like last week you had Aaron Donald versus Quentin Nelson.
Yeah.
And that was huge. So I'm not starting Aaron Donald just because I know
Quentin
I'm from
Nelson
Indiana,
is
so, and
you
that's
know
Quentin Nelson, right?
yeah.
That's an all-pro left guard right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I don't know. That's where I find the difficulty is like you get these new linemen, especially these rookie linemen. This week you have the rookie left tackle from the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Soul.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's going up against the rookie edge rusher from the Ravens.
Yeah.
So it's like, who do I go with right there? You know, like it's tough to pick on those rookies.
Couple toss-ups.
And you got and he had the key fumble last week against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So.
So even with that being said, I mean, when we talk about keeping track of how many guys you have on, who you have on your team, like you've got to, spare me, guys, spare me. I haven't played fantasy in the past 2 years, so I've been away, been backed off. But
I took this year off, so I'm
okay. So cool. So I was gonna say, spare me, please. But when it comes to keeping track, like, do you guys usually try to draft? You got teams where I've got some of the same guys, or I'm aiming for the same type of player. How we go about that?
That's kind of tricky. So I try to keep it the same just because you end up with those matchups where in one fantasy league you got this guy, but your opponent has a guy
that's in your other league. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to deal with that last week. I have Mike Evans in one league. My opponent had Mike Evans, and then I have Chris Godwin in another league. So who do I want to go off? It's kind of like.
But Will, on your take, when it comes to managing your team, what's like? How do you play that with the different rosters? The
he has no
different players?
personal life. That's what it really is.
Okay,
That's all that.
so I kind of just throw that out the window.
You want to try to find that. You want to try to find that balance between teams, especially when you're running different leagues.
Yeah.
One, it's just hard to keep up with everybody. I mean, you really do have to spend hours and hours if you want to be good at fantasy football.
Yeah.
So for me, I try to run teams that are through and through going to be the same players on each side.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's impossible because your draft positions, things like that, how many players are in your leagues.
Right.
But you want to keep some consistency. And then for me, like I said, I run deep in the waiver wire.
Yeah.
So I know if a guy like Pollard, who's only, who's available.
Tony Pollard with Dallas
50%
Cowboys
of the
running back.
leagues,
Yeah.
I know I can go snag him up, and I'm going to do that across all my leagues.
Definitely. So that's one of the huge takeaways that I'm getting from both of you guys. Consistency. You want to have a good fantasy football team or be in different leagues as well. Make sure there's consistency within there so you kind of know what you're working with. You know who you're playing with.
Yeah.
Okay. I can understand that. So I think it's time that we kind of jump into some things. Week 3 is on right here around the corner. Who should be starting? Who should be sitting? What do we got?
I got a big sit-em this week.
Uh-huh.
I got Travis Kelce as a sit-em.
What? Travis Kelce, Kansas City Chiefs.
You never sit Travis Kelce, let's be honest.
Tight.
But this week, you got Derwin. You're going against the Chargers.
You're going against the
So
Los
Derwin
Angeles Chargers.
James
Mm-hmm.
has allowed 3 catches for 8 yards since 2018 on Travis Kelce.
Ah.
And the Chargers, in its own, have only allowed him 92 yards total in those 3 years.
The power of statistics.
Yes.
That's what that is. Go ahead. No, I like
That's my key sit-up. And that's the thing. Travis Kelce, it's like those guys that you never keep on the bench. But
Yeah.
Derwin James is a beast.
Yeah.
He's locking him down this week. I even got the Chargers over the Chiefs this week. So
Wow. Okay. I think we can. We may connect on that one here in a second. Any huge sit-ems that you have right now, or any guys where you're just like, hey, you know what? Maybe there's a guy in my roster I thought he probably could ball out for me this week, but now based on matchups, maybe you need to pull a guy out.
Yeah, he's not so much a big one, but I will go with Darrell Henderson Jr., LA Rams running back.
Yeah.
He's been having a great season.
Yeah.
He did get banged up last week, though, and he's going against a Tampa Bay's front seven.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
So I honestly, that's my sit.
Yeah.
He is in my starting lineup, but he won't be this week.
Yeah.
And
definitely.
what I would watch personally is Lamar Jackson. He's been ill all week. Maybe you want to take a second look at that.
That Lamar Jackson may be one that you want to watch out for. Well, I think when you look at this week, there's a lot of potential matchups that may go in certain people's favors. Who are the startums? Who are you starting?
I got, for my running back, I got
Yeah, go ahead. If we can go ahead. Yeah, our fantasy guys, I know how you guys are with your phones. You got to be on it. I totally get it. Who are you starting? He's got 13 different leagues.
Yeah, I got
13, 15 different leagues.
All right, so I'll start with mine. Again, I'm going to kind of go off the cuff because I know obviously you want to start people like Derrick Henry, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, you want to start your stars.
Right.
For me, though, someone that you can grab off of the waiver wire this morning, most likely because he's only rostered in 56% of the leagues, like I said, is going to be Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
He's electrifying. He's a great change of pace for the Cowboys. I know Zeke, of course, takes away a lot of his touches.
Yeah.
But they're finding a way to get him involved.
Yeah.
He's going to be good. I mean, he has been. He's proven that he's good for, 15 points a game in fantasy, which is big for a flex. So if you need a spot, I would say Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard, definitely. Monday night against the Eagles.
I'm going to go running back as well, but I'm going to go with the Ravens running back against the Lions, Tyson Williams. You've seen what Aaron Jones did. I see the same. I see the same thing. I think the Baltimore Ravens line is a little bit better than the Packers.
Yeah.
So I see him having a huge game. So, and that's kind of a low-key player that, is still available out there. So.
Right. No. Okay. Definitely. And then just total sleepers. I know we were talking about, Tony Pollard. I get that. But is there any other sleepers that we may not be thinking about where, hey, this may be a guy you want to get on your roster, maybe not just for this week, but this is a guy who's potentially balling out. You may want to have a permanent spot for this guy.
With Christian McCaffrey going out, you got to go Chuba Hubbard. You see what he did in Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Dude's a beast, and he played well last night. He did have that drop in the end zone.
Yeah.
Would have been his first touchdown. Would have been nice. But he's a key guy to keep an eye on depending on how long Christian McCaffrey's out.
Right. I like that.
So mine, it's going to be a little bit surprising. I'm going to go with Sterling Shepard of the New York Giants.
A
lot of people.
A giant.
Yes, a giant. A lot of people sleep on Sterling. He's been having a great year.
Yeah.
He's gotten at least 9 catches a game.
Yeah.
And you always need a wide receiver.
Yeah,
At least I always do.
Yeah,
always need a wide receiver.
I don't draft well there.
He's only drafted in 70% of the league, so it's probably someone you can still sneak up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been having a monster season. He's got 9 catches for 120 plus yards, and then another one for 10 catches for another 120 plus yards.
Yeah. Daniel Jones really.
Danny Dimes.
Yeah, he's looking.
They're becoming a
Warren's doing. He's having an aneurysm right now. We're talking about Danny Dimes.
Yes. Yeah. And then just a player I would stash away as far as picks you can probably get up. You talked about him earlier. One of the most explosive rookies out there, Rondale Moore out of Arizona.
Okay, yeah.
You got Kyler Murray, arguably one of the best quarterbacks right now in the league, throwing to him.
So let me slow down there because you're getting into something that I want to talk about. I mean, because we've got some pretty good game. I mean, Kyler Murray is looks like he's my MVP pick. I know you've already picked Arizona to go to the Super Bowl, but
taking it.
Yeah, I hear you. I know that there's some potential for some really good games this weekend. Do you guys have any games that you're looking for this weekend that you're ready to watch? You're like, is it going to be the Packers Niners? Is that what I'm looking at you guys saying?
I'll let him say Packers Niners, but I'm actually going to go with Tampa Bay versus the Rams.
Yeah.
And honestly, my sleeper MVP is Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford, yeah.
Cooper Kupp, all those guys over there.
Yeah.
In the LA. I think they beat the Tampa Bay this week.
You got a couple
I'm telling you, I
picks
got a
that he's giving us a couple picks right off the bat. I like it. Let's actually save that because we're gonna jump into 50-50 as soon as we come back from this break. But that's gonna finish up this segment. We are Pat and Go, and just take a quick break with us, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Pat and Go with Paul Browning. I am Paul Browning. DJ on the ones and twos. What? We've got a couple guests in the building. Will Hazelwood, Brandon Gray, doing some fantasy updates for us. They're going to help us join in on 50-50. Time to pick them, right?
Do you have Mike Lewis's picks?
I do have Mike Lewis's picks for the segment, so we can now make sure that we are keeping up with our record right now because the way it looks, I am at 18-12. All right, DJ, you're falling behind. It's 13-7. We got to pick it up. All right.
I did step up this week.
Yeah,
this past week.
You did. And Mike is no beginner's luck. He is 19-11. Don't know what he's doing. Don't know who he's talking to. He's got some inside sources. He's pulling something up. He's 19-11. I don't like it.
TV sources.
Yes, he got something going on. But like I said, we're going to jump into 50-50. This is brought to you by Castle Roofing for all your roofing needs. You give them a phone call at 719-799-0609. All right, so all of our YouTube subscribers, make sure that you are liking the video. Everybody who's not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, like the video, share it here on YouTube. We're at KPPF Radio, 1040 a.m., and also Pat and Go with Paul Browning on YouTube. Let's get into those picks. So first off, this is Sunday, September 26th. So for the early games, we've got the Colts and the Titans. Who are we going with?
I think all of us got the Titans, don't we?
I do not.
Indiana, man, is going to go.
And that's not why I'm going with them.
Okay.
I just don't see them starting the season 0-3.
Right.
I think they've been playing well. They just haven't gotten over that hump. And I think this is the week to do it.
All right.
And Titans coming off a big win. They're not worrying about the Colts right now.
On the road.
Well, hey, it is a division game. So it's going to be Titans, Colts.
Wait, is Wentz not playing? Hold up. Let me check.
Wentz is we're still waiting to hear on what's going to happen for him. So we've got the Giants, Falcons. Where are we going with the Giants, Falcons?
New York.
Atlanta?
I got New York.
I've got New York as well. All right, so we're going to go into the Chiefs, Chargers. I think we know where Brandon's going.
Yeah, I already said I'm going with the Chargers.
He's going to go Chargers.
They always play the Chiefs tough, and I think they take this.
And it's a division game. Yep. We know, like I said, most of the time when you get division games, home field advantage.
Talk about 50-50.
Can become 50-50 now, right? Okay, so all right, so we've got the Chargers.
Going with Chiefs.
Going Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs.
You got the Chiefs?
I don't see it happening in Arrowhead.
All right, I've got the Chiefs as well. Mike is also picking the Chiefs, so we're kind of in line there. We've got the Bengals, the Steelers. Bengals at Steelers. Steelers coming off of a rough loss. Where are we going? Pittsburgh?
I got Pittsburgh.
I think it's a clean sweep. Pittsburgh. Mike also has Pittsburgh. Now let's head up to Cleveland. We've got the Bears heading to Cleveland to take on the Browns.
I think Justin Fields is going to come out and upset the Browns.
Justin Fields is starting. This is correct.
And I agree with that, actually. Just because Roquan Smith is going to be covering those tight ends.
Yeah.
You got Landry out. Odell Beckham's coming back for his first game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think he'll be ready, and I think that defense holds up for the Bears.
All right.
I absolutely agree. I'm taking the Bears.
Okay, I am trumping all of you guys. That Browns defense is way too much for the rookie. Wow. We're going Browns, so I'm going Browns. Mike is also going to go Browns. Let's look at the Ravens and the Lions. Ravens going up to Detroit. I'm going to go with the Ravens. Ravens look good.
Yeah, I got Ravens as well.
Ravens.
The Lions have shown improvement last week, but they can't beat the Ravens, even without Lamar Jackson.
Tough. And Mike is also going to end up going with the Ravens. We've got the Saints and the Pats. I am going to go New England. New England is starting to show it. They're starting to look good. I really like Mac Jones. They get that steam rolling. New England should be tough to beat. So I've got New England over New Orleans.
I'm going to take New Orleans. I think Kamara's going to have a bounce-back game.
Mm-hmm.
He's been looking sluggish all year. If they want to win, they got to get him involved more.
Right.
So I'm going to look at Saints to take this one.
I'm going to go New Orleans as well, but it's which which Jameis Winston do we get? Do
Right.
we get week 1 or do we get week 2?
Yeah.
If week 1 shows up, I think they can take it.
Mm-hmm.
And I got New England because I think the defense is going to clamp down on Kamara. I don't think he's got it.
Okay. Let's go back down south. We've got the Cardinals heading out to Jacksonville to take on the Jags. I'm going Arizona.
Landslide, Arizona.
Yeah, landslide. Arizona.
Landslide, Arizona. Arizona.
It's Arizona.
It's Arizona. Mike is also going Arizona.
I just can't.
We've got another one. Washington going up to Buffalo. Washington has looked pretty good, but Buffalo is Buffalo. I'm going Bills.
I'm going to take Washington on this.
Heineke.
Josh Allen. I mean,
Josh
that's all I
Allen.
need to say.
Josh
That's
Allen.
all I need
All
to
right.
I'm with him, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Okay. And Mike is also going Josh Allen. We're there. We're with the Buffalo Bills. I like the take. We'll see how that ends up going. Now heading home for the afternoon. These afternoon games. We've got the Jets coming out from New York, coming here to Denver to play the Broncos.
Broncos are going to continue.
Yeah, I mean, Vic Fangio's defense.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson's not going to have an answer.
Yeah.
Same with last week against Belichick. I got Denver.
I like the way Teddy Two Gloves is playing.
3-0 for the Denver Broncos all across the board. You thought Mike was going to pick anything that
Come on.
man. You know you're going to. No, this is the week he goes to the Jets. No, I'm joking. We've got Vegas now. We're going with DJ's team. We've got the Raiders hosting the Dolphins. I'm going to go Raiders. They are going to be 3-0. They look great.
Raiders,
yeah. Especially Miami without Tua.
That's exactly why I'm picking the Raiders. I was questionable on this game up until Tua was out.
Ruled out, yeah. Okay, definitely. Now we've
back
got
on that, though. Don't sleep on Miami's defense, though. They've been playing well. I mean, other than last week against the Buffalo Bills.
I'm just saying, Derek Carr, he's playing like a madman. Let's see if that continues.
Hey, he helped me in fantasy last week, too.
Hey, look, we're there.
You're welcome.
Seattle's heading out to Minnesota, take on Minnesota. Who are we going?
I'm going to have to take Seattle on this one.
Seattle.
Yep.
Okay.
It's tough because Seattle lost last week. They're going to be hungry. But Danielle Hunter's been unstoppable this week or this year. And I don't see the Vikings starting out 0-3. Same with the Colts. Like, these teams are fighting for this. You know, like, this is every game counts, you know?
Yeah.
So
You got Minnesota?
Minnesota.
All right.
And that's coming from a Packers fan. So.
That hurts.
Russell Wilson is my MVP, so got to go with him.
It's hard for me to go against Russ. I think even in Minnesota, I think Russ can do some things. It's going to be great to see him turning it back up after that loss. Mike is also going to go with Seattle. We've got the Bucks and the Rams. I am going to go Los Angeles Rams. Huh? What? I told you I'm here to play hard. I'm not here to go soft. Let's do it. Rams.
I'm not going soft either.
All right.
I mean, it's that Rams defense.
Yeah.
I don't think Tampa Bay has any answers for it. They're also weak in their secondary.
You're saying Tom Brady doesn't have an answer for that Rams defense?
No, he doesn't.
It's Tom Brady. I'm going to disagree. 20 years of – I don't think anybody's going to throw a coverage at him. He don't
Aaron
know or a
Donald's
line.
going to be all over him, though. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Okay. I can hear that.
I'm going Rams as well.
I'm going to go Tampa. I think Brady and Gronk, they remind me of the old school, old Patriots days.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have a good day.
Yeah.
Tampa on top.
Tampa on top. Mike is also going to go Rams. We've got Packers, 49ers. Probably the game that matters the most to my boys over here to my left. I'm going to go Packers. I'm going to go Packers.
Well, I'm going to go Niners.
Okay.
I think the Packers are going to play well. I think Devontae Adams is going to come out and have a good game.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to have what it takes to beat the Niners. So.
Okay.
The 49ers beat us in the past because of their run game. They're beat up in the run game right now. And I don't think it's enough. Jimmy G's not that guy. Trey Lance
is the guy, and he needs to be.
After their bye week. And so I got the Packers.
I'm going Niners. Samuel lights it up.
We are split. Mike is going to upset that balance, so he's going with the Packers. And then Monday night, we've got Dallas hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. I said watch out for Philadelphia, just not this week because Dallas got it.
I got the Eagles.
This one's a tough one for me. Jalen Hurts, he's that guy. I think he's legit. But Dallas, man, you got Dak is playing lights out right now.
Yeah.
So, and I don't see that changing anytime
Too many
soon,
injuries
so.
on defense, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean their defense has always been pretty suspect. So.
Well, they've been showing this year that they can play.
Well. But if DeMarcus Lawrence still is out, I don't know. Eagles might take that.
Okay.
No pressure on the outside. Jalen Hurts just dines them up.
I like it.
I'm gonna go with Dallas, 27-21.
Another split.
Ooh,
These are going to be the
he's throwing out scores
27-21. We're gonna write it down. 27-21. You just earned yourself another trip back onto the show with that one. We're gonna miss. No, for real, Will, Brandon, it was great having you both on here. We really appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Definitely, we'll have you on again. Definitely, we need some more fantasy takes.
Absolutely.
Game Over. We already love Game Over. We love what you guys do here in Colorado Springs when it comes to the sports apparel, but just Southern Colorado, period. So we really appreciate that. As for everything else, that's the show, baby. We got DJ on the ones and
We
two.
put it in.
You know, it's Pat and Go with Paul Browning. I do want to thank all the viewers who are watching on YouTube. You guys are able to see my beard just grow and prosper to something beautiful by No Shave November. It's gonna by No Shave November we'll be here. But I do want to thank you guys. Remember to like and subscribe. You know the pages. YouTube. It's KPPF Radio 1040 AM. Also Pat and Go with Paul Browning. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Do whatever you got to do with the videos. Just continue to watch them. All right.
Look it up on Podbean.
And look us up on Podbean. See how we're doing. That's going to be a KPPF Radio. We'll be seeing you guys next week as we go over week 4 and recap everything that we talked about this week. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.